Hi guys, we are looking at our homework for Chapter 18, Government Budgets and Fiscal Policy. Before I get into the homework though, I want to remind you guys to make sure you're watching the Khan Academy videos. For this chapter, there are two right here. One is a review, you've seen it already, and the quiz is going to have several questions from a prior AP exam that are going to be review. So it wouldn't hurt you to go back and review the past chapters that we've, let's go to our assignments. Wouldn't hurt you to go back and skim over and review chapter 17, 16, and 15. That would be helpful for the quiz. Okay. Now the homework is pretty easy. Jump back over here. We're looking at a series of graphs that are showing the aggregate demand and the short run aggregate supply curves in an economy. The price levels, the overall price levels are on the vertical axis, and the real GDP or real output is on the horizontal axis. So I'm going to give you a few hints, and then I'm going to let you figure these out on your own, because I think you can. I'm sure you can. Just jump over here. So you're going to get a series of scenarios, A through F, and I want you to just say whether the government would use expansionary or contractionary fiscal policy to address the situation. Okay, so to help you out, always remember that you're going to start with Y1, and we're moving from Y1 to Y2, and like say over here, we're going from Y1 up here down to Y2, and here we're going from Y1 here down to Y2, and the potential is just always here, marked here, right? Y star, except for there's an error. This should be Y star. Here, Y2 equals Y star in graph C. And here we're going from Y1 to Y2 from Y3, but really we're just going from, this is in here, but you're really going all the way from here pretty quickly all the way up to here, past the potential. So if we're looking at the scenario that matches graph A, we don't have to go far because it's A. And I just want to, sort of explain how I want you to think about this. And then I'm going to let you figure out the rest on your own. So due to a recession, the economy is performing well below potential GDP. So we want to find the one that is starting off below, and that's going to be graph A. Right here, we're below, easily below at Y1. And it's also going to be C, or not C. It's also going to be a D over here, okay, where we're starting off at Y1 and below. Here at Y1 we're above, and graph B at Y1 we're at a potential. So it's either going to be graph A or graph D. Now, it also says that the goal is to bring GDP closer to its potential. So not at it, but closer. So the only one that brings it closer without going over it, because if we look at graph D right here, we actually end up above a potential in Y3. So the only one that matches up with scenario A is graph A, where we start off at Y1, we're shifting the aggregate demand curve to the right to move us closer at Y2 to the to potential GDP at Y star. And when we expand, when we grow, we're expanding. So we want to use expansionary policy. So any rightward shift of the aggregate demand is going to be expansionary. Any leftward shift is going to be contractionary. I'm going to let you think about these and figure them out. And I want you to, and your answer should look something like this. So you can, sort of explain explain what is happening, why it's happening, what you would use in terms of either expansionary or contractionary, and which graph you're looking at, okay, for each one. Now, in scenario E, there is no graph, okay, because a rise in the natural rate of unemployment, and you can explain what that is, and you should know that. You should know what that is. What does it mean to be at the natural rate of unemployment? Potential, okay? We're at our potential. Potential what? Well, you should know, right? We're there, but if there's a rise, that is caused by other factors, and when you have that, there's really nothing that a physical policy can do to address that problem. So there is no graph. So you can explain that in part E, and explain what the natural rate of unemployment is, and what are some of the things that can be done to bring the natural rate down. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to point out is when you have a rise in world oil prices, that's world oil prices, that's going to affect aggregate supply. It's going to cause supply in the aggregate to cost more if there's a rise in world oil prices, because oil prices affect so much of what is supplied in the economy. Because much of the cost of supplies, the cost of transporting supplies from one place to another. So if there's a rise in the price of oil, then transportation costs are going to go up, which means that the cost of supply is going to go up, which shifts the supply curve to the left. So that should give you a real hint in what graph to look at for part F. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Make sure that you watch the con videos. Let's jump back over there actually, that's not it. Let me go where they are. They're here, right? Make sure that you watch the ones for chapter 18, and it wouldn't hurt you at all to review the ones for 17, 16, and 15. There's a lot of them, but these are really important in terms of preparing for your AP exam. Okay, that's your homework for chapter 18.